Architectural shaping is a method of design that increases value, function, livability, and curb appeal for higher density single-family developments. It can only be utilized in coved development. Coving increases average lot size by reducing street and utility infrastructure, typically 25%, compared to conventional subdividing. Coved lots are not rectangular. It is the increased average lot size and non-rectangular configuration that makes architectural shaping possible. This presentation will not explain coving, which is best explained in the YouTube video for Furbia in 2022. This shows you an architectural shaped building pad. In other words, the pad itself would have been 70 feet by 35 feet for this narrow and deeper home as an example, but because the lot's not rectangular, an consistent angle is used on one side, in this case a 15-degree angle that allows the home to be 12 foot wider at the front or the rear depending on the depth of the home. The kitchen and bath plumbing is a bit spread out. The bathroom and the closet overlook the rear yard with only one window opportunity, narrow one, from the rear yard, and that's where the kitchen is. We've got an 1,875 square foot home, and we're looking at maintaining the 1,875 square foot, so we're reshaping the home to fit the pad. Again, this will be on the inside, or the triangle pinches towards the rear of the lot. We offset the garage 4 feet to de-emphasize the garage doors, and now the home is not 35 foot wide, but 40 foot wide at the rear of the home, and it still has clearance and not touching or overlapping that pad. It has to be within the pad. So the home becomes less deep, which means we've got a larger and more usable rear yard space. The perimeter we set with even dimensions, and we do that to reduce construction cost. There's more facade at the streetscape. So we look at the room functions and the room sizes that were in the previous house because we're trying to keep it apples to apples. So the garage is moved and redefined, and when we start laying this out again, we're looking at the before house, what were the living spaces. We're using Land Mentor software. We use Land Mentor for everything, site planning, architectural floor planning, and everything in our business. So we're looking at the original sizes to try to emulate the essence of what the original floor plan was. You'll notice that the walls are not aligned. They're kind of jagged all over the place. So we're looking at trying to reduce the construction costs by aligning the walls a bit and also keeping those even dimensions. It's a goal to reduce non-functional space. In other words, hallway space, especially when you get a home that's smaller, all the hallway space just eats up the actual space you could use. So for example, little things like here's a little piece of hallway. It's not really usable. You've got a fairly narrow entrance, so it's not usable. You enter the home and you see a wall. So your sense of space doesn't expand. In fact, when you look at the front of the home, you have quite a ways to go before you even see the first sense of space. So we're looking at creating something a little bit larger feel and a bit more functional. So then we start reconfiguring the layout. We kept the kitchen where it was. Again, we're trying to change the essence of the plan. The master bedroom in the back has a window now that overlooks the rear yard. We have a full patio door, so we have more view onto that rear yard, which will be larger. We have a much larger living space, and when we come into the house, the moment you come in, you see this massive space. Before, your feel of space was negligible. I mean, there was no feel of space. We've eliminated all hallway, so that all goes back into room functions. I did add a utility room here off of the garage, and you could see by the square footages on the left of the display, there's quite a bit more space, but the space that is felt is quite a bit more. So what we're trying to do is take what was essentially the essence of the original plan, trying to reduce the cost of the home, trying to do things that would make it less garage dominant, and then also bringing far more space that is felt. So when we look at exterior wall, we actually go down by 3 feet. The closet space is 13% larger. Bedrooms are just about identical. Living space is quite a bit larger, but the important thing is the living space that is felt. In other words, what we're trying to do here with architectural shaping is create a significantly better home, better curb appeal than if you were to not have shaping. So the master bedroom, again, overlooks the yard. There's a window at the sink that overlooks the yard. Very simple construction. And typically when we design these neighborhoods, we request up to 5 or 6 feet within the front yard setback to be used for a porch, so it even creates less of a garage dominant feel. When we look at outer shaped lots, and these are lots that are on the outside of a curve, we're going to gain width by moving the living space back. So what we do is by moving that living space up that angle, we're creating again a wider home. And then we'll put some kind of porch feature to dominate, so it gets you off of just looking at a garage door again. So we got the 40-foot at the rear. Again, that rear yard is on an angle, so it's a larger rear yard with more windows, similar depth. The perimeter, again, has even dimensions, and there's more facade than would be a 35-foot wide product. We added the prominent porch. So when we look at the areas of the rooms, tried to get it to where as soon as you enter, you get that, wow, look at the space. I have created some space by the bedrooms instead of having a 3-foot wide hallway. I opened that up to maybe it's a little bit more usable. Moved the kitchen and back to the garage so that when you're in the kitchen, you're looking at the space, a panoramic view around the space. Again, this is a very quick study. These are the square footages, but this is showing you how architectural shaping works. Now, we're not architects. So what we do is we teach the architect the parameters and the theory behind this so that they can modify their own floor plans. Now I'd like to demonstrate the drastic differences between what would have been built and what will be built using architectural shaping by using this single home as an example in a virtual setting that you could experience firsthand. This Cove neighborhood intermixes shaped homes and non-shaped homes. Most of the new developments we design, 100% of the lots are shaped. Here we see the typical development pattern throughout the globe of how new development is designed. In this example, the 46-foot wide lot is 130 foot deep to meet the city's 6,000 square foot minimum. Homes are squeezed as close together as possible. Coving was able to reduce the total length of the street in this example by 30% on the 1,000-acre tract. The street right-of-way that would have been gifted to the city now goes instead to larger average lot sizes, the main trail is shown here, and more open space. Here you can see the various home shapes as compared to the standard rectangular pad limitations. Now let's experience a space in each one of these 3 different home styles. We'll start with the standard home, the 35-foot wide home that's in rectangular in shape. And as we mentioned earlier, you do not come into any sense of space till you get about a third of the way through the house. And then this is the space that you would feel. So the kitchen is typically the focal point where people hang out. You'll see a lot of windows on the side of the home looking directly into the neighbor. And this is true with the bedrooms too, because like I said, when we pointed out, at the back of the homes there were no windows because there was a closet and a bathroom there. So all the windows were in the side of the home. So we reported that for the architects so that they could consider changes. Now we're going to compare that rectangular pad size to the outer pad. So this home gets to be 40 foot wide, but has to go a bit behind the garage to get that width. And to offset the impact of the garage, we added a full front porch. Now, as soon as we enter the house, you get a magnificent feel of space. The kitchen was moved to create a panoramic view to the backyard. A master bedroom and another bedroom get windows overlooking the front and the rear. and you've got a large patio door. As you can see, the space goes throughout the home. But when we look at the back of the home, look at the windows that look at the larger backyard. All right, now we get to look at my favorite, which is the inside pie home. Why? Because the curb appeal blows away the other two. And you can get a full front porch in them. Great window space looking at the front yard and the rear yard. So when you enter the home, you are immediately shocked at the amount of space you've got in a 35-foot wide product. Great views to the front, bedroom views to the front, transitions open into the rest of the home. Here we go into the kitchen. You see the bedroom on the side has a rear yard view. Kitchen's got a great view of the space. People hang out in the kitchen. Again, that's an important view. Space goes through the home. We got a great backyard, and also look at the additional windows on the back of the home that look at the backyard, which is bigger because the home's not as deep. You can experience this in 3D yourself just by going to www.landmentor.com, all lowercase, /a.exe, and that will allow you to download the 3D experience to go in the homes throughout the development, feel the space whenever you would like. So what we'll do is show you how to do that on your PC. So I'm going to go www.landmentor.com/a.exe, and it will download the executable. It's going to take a few minutes, and then we're going to open that up. So after it downloads, you'll open it up. You'll see it says don't run, puts the PC at risk. It's a known publisher. I think it's just because it's a.exe. I'm going to say run anyway. You can see my AVG, it has to inspect everything, but it'll open up. Then you're in Enscape. When you're in Enscape, give it about a minute or so, and then you'll see the site in 3D. Now I have an Xbox 360 controller that I'm using, and the controller buttons are shown at the bottom of the screen. So I'm using the left button to move forward. I'm holding it down to move fast, and then on the right button I can control up and down, left and right. So I use both controllers, and essentially you're in a video game. If I hit the A button, it will go to ground. If I hit and you can see up in the upper right corner, footsteps. Now I'll hit A again, now I'm in fly mode. Now the only thing you need to know about ground and fly mode is if I'm in ground, I can't move through a wall. So I can't go inside the home. I have to hit A again to go to fly mode, go through the door, and then hit A again to go at eye level. And then I could move about the house at will. So you could go into any of these homes, feel anything you want. Now the additional thing is, under settings, you've got this thing that says input and devices. So in devices, if I had virtual reality headsets, now this does not support the Quest 2, the Meta Quest 2. It'll support the HP Reverb, it'll support Vive, and it will support the Rift 2. It does not officially support Quest 2. But I have the virtual reality headsets. I have a Vive attached, so if I wear the headsets, I could see what I am looking at in those headsets. And then I'm in the virtual world and I could feel the actual space. So all of this is downloadable. You can do this yourself. It's a new era of how to learn how to experience new things. This architectural shaping redefines the value of homes in higher density neighborhoods. We could do this using cove design without a density loss, and that is the key. With less infrastructure, you have more funds to create a better house and a better product to go to market, which is sorely needed today with today's economy and the housing market in trouble. If you were the home buyer, given the choice of a conventional subdivision or an architecturally shaped cove neighborhood, which would you choose? This is just one example of how a single home can be altered to utilize architectural shaping to provide a significant leap in value for the home buyer. It gives builders and developers the edge they sorely need today. If you're a stakeholder of growth or redevelopment and want to learn more on how you could be instrumental in improving the built environment, please contact me.